Donald Trump came within minutes of having his life taken away again on Sunday after a would-be assassin camped outside a Florida golf course for 12 hours with snacks and a rifle, waiting for an opportunity to target Donald Trump. Thankfully, the suspect, Ryan Wesley Routh, was spotted by the Secret Service and detained. But the disturbing incident has highlighted the Democrats' complicity in putting Trump in the firing line. Sky News All-Stars Rita Panahi, Alex Stein and Greg Sheridan exposed the Democrats' dangerous role in Trump's assassination attempts. Kamala Harris, the Democrats and the leftist media have blood on their hands after another Trump assassination attempt. The dangerous rhetoric spewed by anti-Trump pundits has created a toxic sentiment that is being exploited by unstable Trump haters, with one commentator on X slamming Kamala Harris, saying, "This is on you and your evil rhetoric." Sky News All-Star Greg Sheridan slammed the Democrats for their dangerous lies, which cause hate and division in America.
It's wrong to say Democratic politicians are responsible for extremists if they're just engaging in robust criticism. But the Democrats routinely lie about Trump, and I have no particular brief for Trump at all, a lot of criticisms of him, but they lie about Trump in a very extreme fashion. For example, Kamala Harris said that Trump had said if he loses the election, there will be a bloodbath. And most people would think that meant Trump said there'll be killings and bloodlettings and so on. What Trump said was there'd be a bloodbath in the auto industry. So she is intentionally, dishonestly saying Trump threatened killings when he didn't. She also said he praised neo-Nazis in Charlottesville as very fine people. He didn't. He condemned the neo-Nazis, but said on both sides of the demonstration about historic statues in the South, there were very fine people. Now, you tend to let this go, you don't have any great personal sympathy for Trump, and you tend to let it go. But they lie about Trump in such an extreme fashion, they're such barefaced lies, that there are two conclusions out of it. One, they are no better and probably worse than Trump himself in producing polarisation and fever pitch in American society. And two, this has got to contribute to an atmosphere, a fervid, intense atmosphere in which some deranged people come to the conclusion that America would just be better off without Trump. So I think the anti-Trump rhetoric of the Democrats, you can't say that there's a direct, obvious causal link, but it's extremely irresponsible and very reprehensible in my view.
Sky News All-Star Rita Panahi agreed, highlighting the dangerous Democrat rhetoric that frames Donald Trump as a domestic threat.
And talking about reckless rhetoric, here is Democrat Rep. Jasmine Crockett saying MAGA is a domestic threat just a few hours before another attempt on Donald Trump's life.
I talk about the fact that when we swore in finally in January, that we swore to defend against those that are coming against us, whether they are domestic or international. And right now, I feel like MAGA in general, they are threats to us domestically. And we see it time and time again.
Sky News All-Star Chris Kenny also agrees, blaming the Democrats for their demonization of Trump.
US politics is polarized. Divisive politics in a country armed to its teeth, we all know that's a volatile mix. And nobody's political words should see them blamed for violence, unless, of course, they're inciting violence. The blame lies with the violent perpetrators themselves. But as I've said many times here, while we all know how brash and aggressive Trump can be and how he claims he was robbed at the last election, that doesn't mean the Democrats should get to run amok with their divisive language with impunity. As we keep showing you, their demonisation of Trump is perhaps the most divisive angle of them all.
And even Donald Trump himself is sick of it, releasing this scathing statement on X, calling out Democrat lies. He said, "The rhetoric lies as exemplified by the false statements made by Comrade Kamala Harris during the rigged and highly partisan ABC debate, and all of the ridiculous lawsuits specifically designed to inflict damage on Joe's, then Kamala's, political opponent, me, has taken politics in our country to a whole new level of hatred, abuse, and distrust. Because of this communist left rhetoric, the bullets are flying and it will only get worse. Allowing millions of people from places unknown to invade and take over our country is an unpardonable sin. As well as the dangerous and divisive rhetoric, the leftist media took the extraordinary step of gaslighting Donald Trump and blaming him for his own assassination attempt, explains Sky News All-Star James McPherson.
You know, Democrats describe him as a threat to democracy, a madman who will plunge America into a dystopian nightmare. The media say he's a cross between, Mussolini and Hitler, only worse. The Secret Service say he's not the sitting president, so he doesn't get a full security detail. And so, 9 weeks after Thomas Crooks fired a volley of shots at Donald Trump, one of which hit him in the ear, there's been a second attempt on his life. So that's 2 assassination attempts in just 9 weeks. While Kamala Harris is dodging interviews, Donald Trump, he's dodging bullets. And if you listen to MSNBC, well, it's all Donald Trump's fault.
Do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted, and it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started.
I remember when we used to joke that if Donald Trump cured cancer, he'd be criticised for putting oncologists out of work. These days, Donald Trump can't even get shot at without it being his fault, Caleb.
Sky News All-Star Alex Stein agrees, saying leftist media playing the blame game is not a surprise.
Alex, we've heard similar sentiments. I played some of them just previously from NBC, CNN, ABC also have commentary that seems to be blaming the victim. How is this happening?
Well, it's not a surprise, to be honest, and I think they're doing it on purpose to try to encourage more people to take shots at Donald Trump. If you look at this guy, Routh, when he was arrested, he seemed almost happy because the last person that shot Donald Trump, the entire media has memory hold it and basically stopped talking about it during the debate. No, neither candidate was questioned about the assassination attempt. So it just shows you that any attempt on Donald Trump's life is something that the media will probably cheerlead. And if it's something bad does happen, they're not going to even cover it. So we don't even get the truth. So our media is terrible here. The mainstream media, it's just, you can't really trust them whatsoever.
Well, you've got activist journalists there who are allowing, really, their opinions to masquerade as news.
And it's not only Kamala Harris and the Democrats complicit in creating a toxic environment towards Trump. The leftist mainstream media take every opportunity to demonize the presidential candidate on their platforms, including the hosts of The View.
Now to the ladies of The View, and here Joy Behar indulges in more crazy, reckless rhetoric, claiming that Donald Trump is such a threat that every artist must back Kamala to save the Republic.
In this emergency that we're in, I think that behooves artists to come out and speak for Kamala against Donald Trump, because he is an existential threat to the country. What do you say to that?
They speak like this even after an attempt on Trump's life 2 months ago that left a man dead, and Trump escaped death by millimetres.
So, what does this all mean for the election? Well, according to Sky News All-Star Paul Murray, not much.
Race. Today is 50 days until the presidential election. Let us now take the temperature. Let's check the pulse. It's not how you take a temperature. If you do, you're going to be in a lot more trouble. Thankfully, not doctor, just idiot TV host. Now, according to the betting markets, Harris, 1 point chance of winning, but it's 50-49, so that is well and truly a toss-up. According to the latest 5 national polls, these have all come in after the debate. The ABC Ipsos poll has Harris up by 4 points. They were wrong by 4 points in the last election. Another one has Trump up 3 points. They are an A-grade poll, apparently. Yahoo News has Harris up by 4. Another one has Harris up by 4, and another one has Harris up by 5. So, after the debate, as you would expect, Harris in the lead nationally. Remember, she's got to be higher than 2 points to have a chance of being able to win that electoral college. So, what is the latest polling average in the states that matter? In Arizona, Trump up. Nevada, Harris just. Wisconsin, Harris, a bit more than just, but still just. Michigan, Harris just. Pennsylvania, that's a tie. That's a tie, all right? Georgia, Trump just. So it's razor thin in the betting, it's razor thin in the polls. In the predicting markets, where people use a whole bunch of other stats and they work out the percentages that polls were wrong in the past, Trump, 59.6% chance of winning, but the expectation is that he may well, if it all goes right for him, run the table. Literally, all of the swing states may end up going his way, but we will all wait, watch and see.